Theater kids. They are so horny. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It has been a moment. As we all know, the Tony Awards happened about a week ago, and it was absolutely fantastic. Cynthia Erivo blew it out of the house. I was stunned. I was super stunned. So much went on during this ceremony. I don't even know where to begin. Let's talk about Hamilton, the fact that the 10-year reunion happened and it was absolutely fantastic. And it might also be pointing out the political environment that we're currently living in. I'm looking at you, Jonathan Groffcoat. We also had Oprah Winfrey call out the Patti LuPone drama.
Turns to the women whose work sparked lively conversations among theater fans.
Oh!
Lot of talking going on.
Yup. Don't even get me started on this. This got the whole community rolling. And as we found out, I'm really bad at predicting technical awards. But I will say I did a good job at guessing the acting awards. Hello, I guessed Best Musical, Best Leading Actress, Best Leading Actor, and I don't remember the rest. I should probably just go try to find my category for— wait, hold on. Rude. I'm back and I have it. Okay, so I got 9 out of 27, which isn't that bad. I did correctly predict Best Musical, Best Revival, Best Actor in a Musical, Best Actress in a Musical, Best Actress in a Play, Best Original Score, Best Costume Design, Best Lighting Design of a Play, and Best Sound Design of a Play. So I don't know what that means, but
Please welcome a man who makes everyone wet.
can we talk about the fact that despite being an absolute fan favorite, Death Becomes Her got 0 awards? 0. I'm looking through it right now. They got 0. Actually, wait, sorry, I was wrong. They got 1 award, which I correctly guessed was Best Costume of a Play, because come on, it's Paul Tazewell. If you ask the guy who won an Oscar for making costumes in Wicked to do costumes for your musical, you're winning a Tony Award. And of course, we have to talk about maybe Happy Ending. Total sweep, in my opinion, of the Tony Awards. I mean, come on. And of course, we have to talk about Sunset Boulevard. Now listen. I knew Nicole Scherzinger was gonna win it. I told y'all. I love Audra McDonald. When I saw her perform Rose's Turn, I was sitting on the floor staring at my TV and I couldn't think. Thoughts did not come into my brain. I couldn't think, oh my god, she's amazing, or oh my god, I'm about to cry. I just couldn't think. I just stared at her. I was like, I literally couldn't process thoughts. But as I predicted, Nicole Scherzinger won. And honestly, slay. She deserved that Tony. I mean, did you hear her sing? It was phenomenal. And that brings, if you want, what?
I'm a man who makes everyone wet.
Basically, the Tonys went the way I expected. Sunset Boulevard had a sweep. Hamilton blew everyone away as usual. Audra McDonald is a goddess and we don't deserve her. And of course, someone had to bring up the Patti LuPone shit. By the way, was she there? I don't know. But that's not all we're going to talk about today. Today, I'm going to be reading theater horror stories. I asked a couple of my friends to send in either horror stories or crazy stories from a time they did a play or a musical, and we're going to read them. And we're also going to dive into some of my theater horror stories as well. By the way, if you don't follow me on Instagram, you should. Also, a lot of you aren't subscribed to my channel. What's up with that? Come on, just subscribe. It's free. And if you don't like my content for a week, just unsubscribe. But I'm sure if you do subscribe, you'll really like the content that I put out. I'm trying to reach 100 subscribers before I move to NYC to go to acting school.
Everyone loves a balcony seat, except, as we learned this season, Abraham Lincoln.
And that is in August. So you should subscribe. Please. Okay, let's get into it.
The balcony is also the best and safest place to see Jonathan Groff sing.
Okay, here's our first horror story. The entire cast came down with a freak illness that wiped out almost all our cast, but our teacher refused to postpone the show because she wanted to apply to the Applause Awards. I'm assuming that's regional theater awards. On the last day of the show, our main character did the first act and then got too sick to do the second act, so the understudy, who hadn't practiced at all, and none of the understudies had either, had to go on for the second act. I also got really sick after the first act, and my theater teacher sent me home even though I begged her to let me stay. I found out later that she told everyone else that I was the one that insisted on leaving, and she tried to get me to stay. What is it with high school theater teachers? Like, I know my theater teacher was a little, but what is it with all these high school theater teachers? Like, hello? Also, this stands out to me. The fact that on Broadway, understudies are so underappreciated, but they put in as much work as principal actors. Yet, in high school theater, understudies, a lot of understudies don't do shit.
Everyone wet.
Like, I personally know that some understudies from my high school theater days who were great. But then I feel like the narrative in high school theater is understudies don't do anything because they don't think they're going to go on. Also, like, we need more understudies in high school theater. My school only had understudies for one play that we did. We didn't have any understudies for the musicals that we did, and I feel like that needs to change. But yeah, that's crazy. I mean, the illness the week of the show, that will always happen no matter what. Your teacher needs to reevaluate. Like, seriously reevaluate. If you're making teenagers perform on a stage through sickness just to get some award, I think you need to reevaluate yourself. That's my thoughts. Next horror story. Oh, that's all. So this is long. I was running late to everything and was all around still pretty crazed that my best friend flew down to see the show. It was a pretty hot day and I was sprinting from a cappella rehearsal to call for the show. I finally made it to call and I was disoriented and exhausted from walking around 2-3 miles in the blistering sun. This in turn led to heat exhaustion on my end. I was dizzy, nauseous, and overall not doing so hot. My director then grabs a script, runs to the pit, and learns my part that night in the emergency that I had to get off stage because I felt like I was gonna pass out. Luckily, I didn't. Few close calls though. My director was my emergency understudy since we had no understudies and would check on me every time I came off stage. This is why we need more understudies. We need more understudies in high school theater and in college theater. But shout out to your director for doing that. I've also had cases, not personally, but within shows where directors had to go on for parts. I feel like my reaction to this is walking 2 to 3 miles in the blistering sun. Damn. Also, don't forget to drink water, like, a lot, especially if you're a singer, because you need that, like, a lot.
Wet.
Damn. Anyways, next story.
Wet. Man.
Oh, this one says, when I was talking about my favorite play I'd love to perform next fall, Macbeth. I didn't know. For reference, she said this in a theater. For those of you who surprisingly don't know about this, Macbeth is kind of referred to as a cursed play in the theater community, and you'll curse your production if you say the words Macbeth in a theater. And there's a whole thing that you have to do to uncurse the curse. You have to basically, like, something like go outside, spin around 3 times, spit over your shoulder, curse, and then you have to knock and ask to be let back in. And if you don't do that, your whole production just falls apart. There's no saving it. I could read so many horror stories about what happened when someone said Macbeth in a theater. Moral of the story, don't say Macbeth in the theater. If you need to mention Macbeth, you say the Scottish play or the Bard's play or the Scottish play. Next! In The Lightning Thief, our portal was 2 columns with a hula hoop attached, and our Grover tripped on it and knocked over the whole set. Why is this giving that one video of that school that did Shrek, where, like, he climbs up the tower and the entire set just falls, and he says something like, "It's a bit windy up here," or something. That's giving major this vibes. I want to know how you guys continued, or if you had to stop the show, let me know. Whispering I forgot the wallet to the lead in my first live musical. I was the lead. This was for Summer of Love, when I played the 60s housewife who lives with hippies in a park. We had a part in the show where I had a bag with my wallet, and the group is supposed to, like, steal my wallet and my things and go through them. Except we forgot the wallet on opening night, so we just mimed a wallet. Hindsight was really funny. My second year of high school, we found out that our lead guy was sleeping with our choir teacher. What is going on? Hey, so that's illegal? Literally, like, what is going on with these people?
Wet.
I can't believe it.
An actual booster seat.
When I kissed Jermaine for Beauty and the Beast and his beast makeup got all over my face. I'm surprised that... No, because when I did Beauty and the Beast, the guy who played the Beast had like 30 seconds to go backstage and like wipe all of his makeup off. That was funny. That was really funny in hindsight, but yeah, that'll probably happen to anyone who plays Belle. It's fine. Me when I get compared to MJ because the song is Motown. I think this is in reference to an audition that Mimi and I had where we basically had to do a dance audition, and the song, I don't remember this very well, but I think the song was Motown, and the choreographer, she compared her to MJ. That show was a whole story in of itself, and I wasn't even in it. Rude. Did Annie. It was the night it was being recorded. We finished bows, curtain is on the way down, video is turned off, then Sandy jumps up and starts humping Daddy Warbucks. Whole audience did see and laugh, by the way. Theater kids. They are so horny.
A man who makes everyone wet.
This is why I tell people, we have a couch for a reason. That was a really bad statement. Cut that out. Mrs. Potts had a nosebleed seconds before she was supposed to be on stage, but it somehow miraculously stopped right before their cue. We were all freaking out though. Yo, what is it with the random health scares? Like, my health scare was so bad. Basically, when I did Beauty and the Beast, it was our closing night of my final senior show. For reference, I don't usually eat anything before the show because I get nervous and I can easily get sick, which is why I don't eat anything usually. But I had a Reese's cup like 2 hours beforehand, and I was like, okay, I'll be fine. And then if I get hungry, I can like eat something small during intermission. 30 minutes before the show starts, I start feeling queasy. And I was like, uh-oh, cause I like took medication to calm myself down, and now I'm feeling queasy. So I was like, hey, does anyone have any Pepto? So I end up taking something to like calm my stomach. It backfired so hard. I couldn't go on stage, and we had to hold the show for 2 hours. Just thinking of it. Oh! I eventually was able to go on. I'm sure the mascara lines from the 2 hours that I've been crying in pain were very visible to the audience. I remember for the ballroom dance, I had to climb up a mat onto a piece of scaffolding so that I could get to the top of the tower in my ball gown. And this guy, I think he was the ASM, or he was a stagehand, but he was really nice, and he was helping me up, and he knew like what was going on with me, and he was like, you're okay, you're gonna do great. And I looked at him and I was like, I'm not. I really thought I was gonna throw up right then and there. Luckily, I didn't. Oh my god. It was really bad. I hate it. I hate remembering that so much. Moving on. Literally all of Fun Home. I love a minor trying to play a pedophile than a professor. I should make a whole...
Wet.
I was gonna say I should make a whole video about my college's production of Fun Home, but we can't do it. It's too early. I will just say that the dad in Fun Home's very problematic because, he preys on children. Of course, you're gonna have a college student portraying this guy, except we couldn't find anyone, and so our professor did it. Our professor, who is a very grown man, played the role of a pedophile and told a college student who was playing a guy in the musical to take off his shirt. I could hear people in the crowd audibly say, what the fuck? Also, when I did Puffs, I had to kiss a freshman Mormon boy that was like half my height. LOL. We love having to kiss short men. Yes! The love is burning alive. I've already told you my giant theater horror story. I mean, there's one that comes to mind, but I don't know if I should share it or not. Oh, f it, I'll do it. I directed a show during my senior year. It was a play. It was called Happy Birthday Wanda June, and I was a co-director. I'm assuming all of you who watch this video haven't read any Kurt Vonnegut or haven't read Wanda June. There's a part in the play where a white man says a very bad word, like a slur towards black people, bad kind of slur word. So when I was reading through the script, of course I see this and I was like, ugh! And I emailed my teacher and I was like, hey, Mr. I don't know if you noticed this, but on page blah 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 blah, there is this word that our actor is going to say. I don't feel comfortable with this and I don't think he will. Are we planning on censoring this with another word? What are you planning to do, basically? And so I talk with him the next day. I ask him what he's gonna do. And he's like, oh yeah, that is like such a bad word. We're not gonna have him say it. What I was thinking of doing though was having him start to say it and then have our other actor cut him off. And I was like, no. For reference, my high school was majority Hispanic and black. How do you think they're gonna react when two white directors have their white actor start to say the N-word on stage? I called my actor over and I said, hey, do you feel comfortable saying this word? And he was like, no. And I was like, great, me neither. We're not saying it. Can you imagine? I was so confused as to why we were going to have this guy say the word in the first place. Oh my god. No! We're not even gonna have him attempt to say it. Just cut it. It served no purpose. This play was not about racism. It had 0 black people in it. There was no reason to have that word in the show. And there was no reason why the actor should be allowed to even start to say it.
Wet man, booster seat.
But anyway, those were your theater horror stories. Let me know down in the comments what horror scenarios you had to go through, whether that was in high school, college, middle school, etc. And make sure you subscribe. Please. Stay happy, stay dramatic, and don't direct a white kid to say the N-word. Bye!
So please welcome a man who makes everyone wet.